Good morning, everyone. Again, thank you for joining us today for our Forum for the Future PN5 Policy and Informational Series. I am April May, the the Leadership and Coalition Director for MELA, Mississippi Early Learning Alliance, and I am so happy to have you all here. So, we are here as part of something really special, Forum for the Future, which is a coalition of coalitions dedicated to building a state of the art early childhood system in Mississippi. So, whether you're representing families, health systems, early care, advocacy, research, or community groups, you belong here. Together, we're building something bold, something urgent, and something lasting for Mississippi's youngest children and their families. Next slide, please, Mindy. All right, so for our agenda today, I mentioned to you all this is our PN5 informational series, and today I am going to give you a little bit about Forum for the Future, the things that we're working on, which is our common agenda, and then we're going to have our presentation from Melissa Luckett with SSRC, Math Counts Early, introducing the Mississippi Early Childhood Math Resource Guide. But before Melissa digs in, I would like to give you some more information about Forum for the Future. Next slide. Forum for the Future is a coalition of coalitions. It brings together people and organizations across the state and even nationally to center the needs of infants, toddlers, and families. And we're currently made up of 230 members and growing. Next slide. Our approach is rooted in collective impact. That means we aren't just talking, we're working, aligning our efforts, and making space for new voices. We commit to some bold operating norms, which you'll see on the screen, and they are owning the work, trusting the process, dismantling inequities and overcoming mistrust, leaning into discomfort and each other, choosing learning over perfection, and persisting even when the work is hard or incomplete. This isn't performative. These are real guiding commitments for how we collaborate. And our steering committee and our working groups will definitely let you know that we bring these norms up before we meet. So we definitely hold them dear to our heart. At every meeting and milestone, I'm sorry, hold on. I have gotten choked up. This is our timeline for where we are today. And these are the process that we've gone through to get to our priorities and where we are now. And so our priorities had to go through a whole working group process with our steering committee. We sent those out for a vote. We received a consensus with our vote, so we're now celebrating them. We are preparing for our public lunch and announcements, which will be at our State of Babies event that we'll be hosting in October, and we hope to see some of you all there. Next, Mindy. Excuse me. So together we are building a state-of-the-art early childhood system. And when we look at this circle in this diagram here, the three components that build up the state-of-the-art system which is state-of-the-art early care and education, healthy mothers and children, and strong families. And this is a coordinated, efficient system. And I'm going to break down each one of those for you next. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. All right. So this is the yellow bubble. And on our next slide, Mindy, it breaks it down to what those say because those words are very tiny. But families have equitable access to paid family medical leave, and the examples are there. So I'm gonna read to you all what's in black, and then you can read the examples. And as we continue to work on our common agenda explainer, we'll send it out to you that will give this information in more detail. Child welfare practices meet the unique developmental needs of infants and toddlers. Families are economically secure, and we also want a responsive, family-driven system of care for young children. So that is strong families. Next one is healthy mothers and children. And as you can see, we have 6 bubbles for that. Healthy mothers and children have access to comprehensive, high-quality health care from conception. Expectant mothers and children have access to healthy and nutritious foods. Mississippi's children live in healthy, safe environments. Mississippi supports and compensates a qualified infant, toddler, and maternal physical, mental, and developmental workforce. Mothers and children mothers and children access to timely, high quality, and responsive mental health care, and eligible children have access to timely, high quality, and responsive early intervention services from birth. All right, next slide, Mindy. And then this is all going within our coordinated efficient system, which states Mississippi has a functional, family friendly early childhood system supported by an efficient and coordinated infrastructure for children and families at both the state and local levels. All right, as I mentioned to you all in the beginning, Forum for the Future is a coalition of coalitions. We also have individual membership. So if you would like to become a member, if you're not quite yet a member yet, and you want to learn more about the things that we're doing, our commitments to this work, please, you can scan the QR code or you can go to our website, msforumforthefuture.org, to get more information. I was going to tell you all that may be changing soon, but we will give you all the update on that. And Mindy, you want to chime in on when that might happen, or we'll just let them know?
We will let you know.
Okay, perfect. All right, so thank you. And next slide, Mindy. As I mentioned before, we are having a State of Babies. Go to the next slide, Mindy, which will be October the 22nd, 2025 at Eagle Ridge. And the State of Babies is Mississippi's Forum for the Future's annual policy and advocacy event dedicated to ensuring every baby in our state has what they need to thrive. And so on October 22nd, leaders, advocates, and community members from across Mississippi were gathered to reflect on progress, align around key priorities, and chart a bold course for the year ahead. This information can be found on our website as well. And the registration is now open to attend State of Babies on October the 22nd. All right, before I turn it over to the next slide, I think that's it. That is it. That's it for me. All right, so as we prepare to bring Melissa Luckett on, I was going through LinkedIn a few days ago and I saw something from NAEYC that was like, oh my goodness, this is right on time for what we're doing on September the 18th, and it says, according to the National Association for the Education of Young Children, making time for math moments in early childhood leads to increased academic success in later years. And so I was like, this is perfect for what Melissa Luckett will be talking about today. And so, Melissa, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you so very much, April, and good morning to everybody. Thank you for having me, April and Mila, and all the wonderful people that behind the scenes that support what you guys do. I am excited to be here today with you all, and very excited to be sharing on this project that we've been working on here at the SSRC and the Systems Change Lab. So I'm just going to share my screen real quick and get started. So I think this falls perfectly within the Mila's, aligns very well with what Mila's goals are that April just went over with you with. We're going to preview the Mississippi Early Childhood Math Resource Guide. Is designed to support you in the classroom, whether you're in the Head Start program, a center, or home care. It's really just designed to give you ideas to strengthen math for our young learners ages 0 to 8. It's a practical, research-informed guide, and it has links to the Mississippi Early Learning Standards. It's written for our educators again, and families of children of birth to 8 years old. Our hope is that this guide will be a companion to what you are doing. It is not meant to be, it's not meant to replace anything or to add anything to your plate. It's really just an additional resource you can use and share with families. Right? So to get started, we're just going to share a little bit about why early math matters. And then we're going to do a quick overview of the actual resource guide. You'll get to see a little sneak peek of what we've already developed so far. We'll talk about the purpose of the guide, and we'll show you some of its key features and its content. And then we'll wrap up with a little bit of call to action, give you some quick to do some requests that we have on our end. And of course, if you have questions, you can put them in the chat as we go along, or hopefully we'll have some time at the end that you can ask as well. Before we get started, we definitely want to share that this work is part of the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, who support has made this even possible. Todd Clunk, our senior program officer, he reminds us in the guides forward that that Mississippi really has seen remarkable strides in our literacy and our academic gains. And now we want to just kind of seize this opportunity to bring that intentionality to our math and to early math. So with that, this guide builds on that vision, ensuring that our children grow with a strong foundation in math so that they can build those skills, so that later on in life, those early foundational skills will pay off. So on behalf of our team, we definitely want to show our gratitude for the W.K. Kellogg Foundation. Also, this work cannot be done by one person. So I am a team of here at the Social Science Research Center, our Systems Change Lab Director, Dr. Heather Hanna. Thank you guys for joining my team with me today. And also, we want to definitely express our gratitude to those who took time to help with the development of this guide. So everything you will see here today has been informed by experts, by families who took the time to tell us what they thought would be really helpful for this guide. All right, so let's just jump right in. Why does learning math early matters? As April mentioned about some of the research from NACE, there is a lot of research out there that's really shining a spotlight on why this is important. Studies show that child's math knowledge when entering kindergarten is the single strongest predictor of later academic achievement. That's even earlier than, or that's even stronger than literacy or reading skills. And a lot of people are surprised by that. I know I was. It also, research also shows that math is more than just about counting or numbers. It helps to build strong confidence in other subject areas as well. So when we teach math early, we're really preparing children for learning, period. And also, a Head Start research shows that babies are really born ready to learn math. I honestly, since I've been doing this work, I am learning things that I did not know when I had my babies. But it's exciting to know that they are wired and ready to get that information, and so we just need to tap into what's already there and build on it and help them grow. And so we know all of this. We know that the research says that they're ready to learn, that they can learn. So what are the barriers that's preventing us from achieving that growth in math that we want to see? Well, quite simply, the research is showing that our children just aren't getting the chances that they need to learn math and be exposed to it at that early age. They're missing out on it at school at the early age, and they're also missing out on it at home. Um, and this is really no fault of any one person. It's just a highlight of what's happening, and just really shining a light on what is possible. We also know that teachers need support. They want more support in understanding how to incorporate math skills into everyday play, and content learning. And also, lastly, uh, the resources. We know that classrooms that have rich math resources, students tend to do better in learning those skills. So um, these are big complex issues. We are not by any means saying that this guide is going to solve those things. We know that, right? So, but we do want to acknowledge and say that this is a step in the direction of putting resources into the hands of those that that need it and that can help you help a child learn those math skills. Okay. So with that, we want to show you just a preview of the guide that we have been developing. It is a interactive PDF flip book math resource guide for educators and families, children's 0 to 8 years old, and it is still very much being developed, but we are so excited about it. As you can see, we're already talking about it and still being developed. But what's in this guide is that it is really based on the U.S. Department of Education's Institute of Education Sciences. So they have a practice guide on teaching math to young children. And so this resource guide is based on that. It has developmentally appropriate lessons as well as videos because some people prefer to see the teacher in the classroom demonstrating how to teach a skill as well as the actual lessons. So we have included the videos, the lessons, and links to both of those in the guide itself. So these lessons are categorized by math concepts, and they also have links to the Mississippi standards, early learning standards, and they're grouped by age bands. Okay. So without further ado, I am going to show you quickly a snippet of the guide. So again, it's still being developed, but I want to just show you pulling out a section in the guide. And this is the 0 to 18 months. Each guide will have the 7 age groups, 0 to 18, all the way to 7 to 8 years old. And as I said, it is a PDF and an interactive flipbook style. So you will be able to go in and select the age group that you may just be specifically working with and pull that out. And you can also download it and print it out as well. So this is just the cover for the 0 to 18 months. And each section has the contents it has the beginning of the contents for what you will find in each section. So each age group will have the same contents for it. It starts out by just telling you the developmental snapshot, what you can expect a child to be able to do in terms of math at that age, and it explains why it is important at that stage. So just giving you a little bit of background. And then it breaks down the specific math concepts that that child at that age will be able to do. And I think it does a really good job of explaining what each of those concepts mean and in a simple way for everyone to understand. And here at the bottom, you can see that there is a link to the early learning standards to the Mississippi Department of Education's website. Then it goes into these at a glance, what I like to call quick at a glance strategies for you to just look really quickly and go ahead and see, okay, this is not intimidating. I can do this. These are strategies that I'm either already incorporating, but I just need to realize that that is linked to math. Or this is math and I can start incorporating it. So again, these are separated by educators and families and caregivers so that as an educator, when you are looking through this, you can also just go ahead and share it with that family member and let them know that this is what you're doing in the classroom and show them that this is what you can do at home. It also includes some inclusive support so that all of our children are able to participate and learn where they are. This is one of those real life math moment sections and activities. Again, it's really important that, or what I'm seeing and what we've been seeing in the research is that it's really important to just include the math skills, the math learning, and what's already happened naturally in the day-to-day life. So as educators, during that snack time, these are activities and suggestions that you can use for learning or teaching math with those students and things that you're already doing in the classroom. And the same way with the families, bath time, dinner time, just giving you ideas of what can be done. And again, just those inclusive supports strategies in that section as well. The math talk examples, I love these because these are, again, one of those skills that you are already doing, but maybe you didn't know it was math, or now it's more intentional. So it's talking to babies about what they see. And again, we're just focusing on the babies here, but I thought this was really important because we can tend to not think that this age group that we can start incorporating math skills, but we can. And so I love how this breaks down the different ways to talk about math without saying, okay, I'm about to do math. But it also divides it into the separate categories and those math concepts there. And then these are just some additional activities that you can try with babies. Some I know that a lot of you are already doing, but just wanted to just include those as well. Just some low prep activities that do not require a lot of hands-on resources. And we did also include a section about progress monitoring. During the development of the guide, the panel who was helping us with this really wanted us to include language to make sure we didn't make anyone feel overwhelmed by what they were experiencing. Maybe they were noticing a child wasn't quite doing or catching on to what they were trying to do or to teach. And so we thought it was important to include what to do if you're concerned, what to look for. And this is not meant to be a catch-all, but it's just to give you an idea of what can be or what should be happening at that age and what to do if you're concerned. So we definitely included that in here. And moreover, what we did was we included the link to the Resource and Referral Center so that you can contact those centers and get help in your area. All right, so now to the heavy resources section of the guide. So those we've already looked at kind of the tidbits, the at a glance, just to let you know this is doable, not overwhelming. But if you're ready to go a little deeper, we have included links to extensive lessons and videos and activities where trained professionals and experts in the field. Remember, this is based on that What Works Clearinghouse guide. We have combed the internet and we've only pulled out high quality evidence-based resources that we are providing links to. So again, we've broken it down into the different math concepts in the categories, and we've tried to include just a good amount of different resources that all address that same math concept. So in addition to the link, we also have the QR code that you can scan if you've already printed it out. So we were trying to just think of making sure that there will always be access, that there will always be ways for you to access this material. Okay, and what I want to do is quickly show you what one of these look like because I think it's just so cool. So let's look at the learning and teaching activity, the two butterflies. So if you wanted to really incorporate number sense and awareness with a child that's 0 to 18 years old, tell me, are you seeing my screen with the learning and teaching learning trajectories? Thank
Yeah,
you, Nina.
yeah.
So this is really neat. This is the Clements and Samara. These are experts in early childhood education. I know many of you already know them. But not only do they tell you the activity, they have it in English and they have it in Spanish that you can go ahead and print it out. So if you're a teacher that's including printing out materials to keep in a file drawer, you can do that as well if you just don't want to keep coming back to the computer. But it explains the activity, and it gives you adaptation suggestions and teaching tips. And the materials of a lot of these again, a lot of these resources do not require additional materials. A lot of them will already have or will require only what you already have in your classrooms. And what I also especially like about this is that it has the differentiation instructions here as well. So up at the top is the video. So a lot of the links, the resources in the guide will either be directly to a video, or it will be to a lesson, or it'll be to a lesson that also has a video. Okay. And these are really short videos to kind of convey.
One named Jack and one named Jim. Fly away, Jack. Fly away, Jim. Come back, Jack. Come back, Jim. Two little butterflies sitting on the clock. One named Soft and one named Loud. Fly away, Soft. Fly away, Loud. Come back, Soft. Come back, Loud.
All right. So that is just giving you an idea of the videos. Some of the other videos will be to Erickson. We've switched up a lot of the resources because once you're on the site, you can just go here and find additional resources within that site if you want to, or you can go back to the resource guide and look for that specific math concept that you're working on in your classroom at that time and find additional resources. So we're really hoping that this will cut down on time for you and having to look for additional resources that you need. We're thinking that we've taken a lot of that legwork out of it for you and put the resources under the categories for you to make it easier. Okay. And let me see here, I think. Sorry, kind of, okay. And so those were just additional resources. And then the next section here shows, I think I go. So there's also a sample lesson plan and guidance. It using the actual resource guide. It goes through how to build your own lesson plan by taking you back to those specific sections in the guide itself. So if you wanted to work on spatial awareness or quantity awareness with that student, then you would just go to that particular section in the guide and follow along with the various resources that they have in there to build on to continue building your lesson plan. And we also show how you can link the whatever you're building in your lesson plan or what you're trying to teach in your classroom. We included those early learner standards down there just to give you an idea of how you can make sure that you are linking that back to your early learner standards here for Mississippi. And then the section ends with showing you what's ahead for the next age group. So it just gives you a quick description of what the babies in the next age group or what the toddlers will be doing, what you'll start seeing them do, and what we'll be talking about in that next age group. Okay. And so that is what pretty much will be composed in each age group section, more or less for the whole guide. And let me stop sharing here and feel free to ask any questions. I've got one more slide that I want to show. But while I'm pulling that up, April, if there were any questions in the chat, you can let me know. I see we're doing good on time here, so I'm going to pull up one more slide.
Okay. And if you have any questions or comments, or I have a few.
You have
Like
a
when,
few.
like, yeah, it's like everything just kind of pop up. But if you have any
Okay.
questions, please put them in the chat, or you can come off mute in order to ask those questions. Melissa will be more than happy to respond. Did you pull up your other slide yet, Melissa? We don't
I
see
am
it,
ready,
babe.
but you can go ahead with your question.
Oh, my question is, when will the guide be available? The complete
Okay.
guide be available?
Okay. So yeah, that's going to be the next slide. And so let me just go
Okay.
ahead and show that, because then I may answer the rest of your questions from
Okay.
that. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so we are anticipating that this will be available in the spring of 2026.
Okay.
But in order to do that, we need your help with something. So how can you support this work? We're asking for centers or educators to join our pilot program, which will start in 2026. Before we push this out statewide, we would like for some classrooms to implement it and give us feedback on anything that we need to change based on how you've used it in the classroom. And so we're looking for educators of children 0 to 8 years old to implement the guide and to provide us with that feedback on the usability. We would like to offer stipends, and continuing education credits will be provided as well. For those of you who are community members or just really early childhood advocates, we will invite you and everyone else to become a champion for early math in Mississippi by joining our mailing list. We anticipate just building on this momentum and informing everyone about what's going on with the guide, the developments with it, and just early math in general. We would love to hear your stories of if you have ideas about the guide, because this guide will be updated on an ongoing basis. Those resources that you saw in there, I am continuing to gather resources. I am attending lots of early math webinars, about 2 or 3 a week, where I gain even more knowledge and information about early math. And so I want to continue sharing what I have learned with all of you. So if you want to receive that information, then definitely email me there so that you can join that mailing list. But I also want to hear your stories. What are you struggling with? What ideas do you have? What successes have you had so far with math? This is an opportunity for you to share what you've done that you think really helps and you want to share with other early childhood educators or families as well. So we would love to have your input and you to join us into the pilot program. That would be for center educators, Head Starts, early learning collaboratives as well as home-based providers. So we're only looking at about about 4 participants at this point. We have 2, so we're looking at about 4 participants. So if you're interested, then please send me an email
And
send me an email.
and that's for participants to participate, and there's a lot of participate in the pilot program.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Is there 4 participants for the pilot program?
4 more, yes, for the
Okay,
pilot.
4
Yes.
more for the pilot program. Okay.
Yes.
And so if you all are interested, or if you know of a child care center, Head Start, Pre-K Collaborative, and did you name one? Oh, home, a family home, care home. You can submit their information to Melissa. And I did put your email in the chat, mjh5@msstate.edu. And do we have any questions from our anyone online? Please feel free. Okay, Connie Thomas has asked, how can we use this resource to dispel the myth that math is hard?
Thank you, Connie. I think that first section of the guide really does that really well, because those little at a glance activities really highlight the things that we're already doing with our children, and just making that connection that, hey, did you know that's math? That is building blocks. It's building a foundation in that little one's brain that we may not be able to see or know what's happening, but it is doing something for them that's going to really help them when they get to kindergarten. And also, Connie, I think um, the videos. These are experts in the field, um, looking at how they have simplified the way to offer professional development to teachers in the classrooms by not only providing the written information and instructions, but the videos to show a teacher that is sitting there with that little child and doing those activities with them will take a lot of, I think, a lot of that fear out of um, teaching math to our young children. And let's just be real, a lot of us call ourselves, well, I'm not a math person.
Hmm.
I have labeled myself that for years. And I'm now beginning to say, it's not that I'm not a math person, it's I didn't get what I should have gotten when I should have, when I was supposed to. And
Yeah.
so over the years, you start to learn, you can learn how to build on those skills, and with that will become confident. So I would love to have teachers who thought that they didn't like math, who thought they couldn't teach math, to just use the resources in this guide to build their confidence.
And once the guide is available, it will be placed on a website. Where could they find it once it's ready?
So I know that you will be able to access it on our Social Science Research Center Systems
Okay.
Change Lab website. I'm sure we'll have many other avenues for how we're going to get it out there.
Okay.
But for right now, I think you did put it in. Yeah, you did put our Systems Change Lab email
Yes.
address in the chat. So that will be one way that you can access it. And I'm sure that once it's fully ready, we'll have a splash so that everybody can know about it.
Okay. Because I'm thinking I would, the shared services website, it will go wonderfully under the curriculum part on there because it does link to and I just love the fact that you have the videos. It's like having your own personal coach
Yeah.
in the room with you. Because a lot of times we can read a curriculum, read a lesson plan, but we don't quite know how to
Mhm.
implement those questions that we're going to ask the children. How and what kind of environment do we need to be one-on-one with the kids? Can we do it in a group setting? So the video that you showed, how you could implement math before lunchtime or snack time, they were at that table, and I'm sure getting ready for lunch, but you are involving
Mhm.
them in language and in math. And that's one of the things that we've always talked about, that you can literally teach children anywhere. And so that it gave me a little
Yeah.
fuzzy. I really love that.
Awesome.
Um,
Well, and one other thing, that was just one video that I just chose to show you. But what I love about some of the other videos, especially from the Erickson's Foundation, is that children will surprise you, right?
mhm.
You think you're gonna sit down and teach
Oh yeah.
Sally a nice little lesson. But for all of you who are in the classroom, you know that it does
Yes.
not go that well and that
No.
smoothly. So what the videos show is how teachers pivot. It will show how they frame language for children. It will show how they ask penetrating questions, to force that child to really think about what they're saying or what they think about, or force them to really think about what they want to do. So it can be, it's natural. I think these videos are really natural, and it's not meant to be perfect because your classroom is not perfect. It's
Yes, exactly.
you, it's your perfect, and it's you
Mhm.
teaching in an environment that helps those children. So we're really excited about the videos. That's been one of the fun parts of doing this project, is that I've been learning a lot by watching the videos.
I know. We have a question from Takesha Bishop. Hello, Takesha. Will we get a notification when it is available? It's hard to keep up with everything nowadays.
Yeah.
So how
So
will we send
yeah,
like
so
a
Takesha,
listserv?
yeah, so once you email me, Takesha, I know it is hard to keep up with just it's just hard to keep up with all the stuff, period, Takesha. I understand. So if you email me, my email address is there in the chat. If you email me, I will send out a link to everyone who sends me an email. I will keep you in a mailing list, and I will email you when it is ready. So if you're wanting a direct communication with me, then that is the way to do it. Otherwise, if you're connected with Mila, if you're connected with our early childhood development coalitions, just different early childhood education organizations across the state like that, I promise you, you will not miss it when this guide is available.
All right, perfect. I am very excited about this resource guide and the opportunity for our early care and early care community to use it in their classrooms. Again, math is sometimes one of the things you're like, oh, but this doesn't give you that feeling. It's like, oh, I get to do math and get, have my children experience it with us. So I thank you again for providing us some time today to go over that. And we're looking forward to it coming out. And we hope that you are able to gain some more centers or classrooms for your pilot program. And we appreciate you. And again, please reach out to Melissa if you have any other questions. All right. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Thank you, April.
You're welcome. Thank you all, everyone. I hope y'all have a
Bye.
great rest of your Thursday.